What's up, family? Man, I bless each and every one of you. May God continue to guide you, keep you, comfort you, aid you in your growth and development, as well as the healing stage of your life. Family, man, we got to grow up emotionally, and it is what it is. I want to continue our series on self-hatred. The first part of the series, we talked about who taught you to hate yourself. The second part was you created the monster within you. The last part that I just released was the 3 common ways it's expressed. Today we're going to conclude it with eliminating the monster. Eliminating the monster. You know, so many people are talking about, man, well, how do you get rid of self-hatred and all this other stuff? And we got to grow up and understand that, man, you didn't learn how to hate yourself overnight. It was a process. It was a systematic process. For many of us, it started with our families, started with our parents, our siblings, people around us. It started with the TV and then the social media and all this other stuff. It was relationships. Self-hatred was a process. You learning to hate yourself was a journey. It's not going to end overnight. It took you a long time to get to this place of hating yourself. It took you abuse after abuse, trauma after trauma, neglect, rejection, abandonment, broken hearts, failed relationships, failed opportunities at work, and everything else. It took all of these things to get you to this place to where you're at today. It took you years to get you to this place. Understand it's not going to go away overnight. Understand it's not going to go away in 2 days. It's not going to go away because you prayed it away today and it's gone tomorrow. That's not how this works. We got to grow up and understand, man, okay, I got to understand what's going on. I got to understand why I hate myself. I got to understand the different ways in which I've been taught and programmed to hate myself. I got to understand the ways in which I expressed my self-hatred. It's a process, family, and we got to catch that. See, sometimes you could be on your journey and you could be, man, I feel good and life is great and da-da-da-da. And self-hatred will lie and just sit there and like, okay, go ahead, think that. You know what I mean? You're so in love with life and, man, you're living your greatest life and blah, 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 blah. And all these things are going great for you. And then you'll turn around in the next breath. Then you'll turn around after you've expressed your love and your gratitude for life, your appreciation for all that you have and the things that are going great for you. And you'll get caught up in some gossip. You'll get caught up in some stupid shit. And you're listening to all that stupid shit. You're taking in all that stupid shit. You're taking in all that poison. And one of the things that we have to understand is like, okay, wait a minute. I'm not dealing with this crap no more. I understand that by dealing with all this stupid stuff, by taking in all this poison, it's an expression of me hating myself. By me listening to all this gossip, by me listening to all this bullshit. The raggedy ass TV shows, the drama on social media, by me getting caught up in entertaining this shit, that's an expression of me hating myself. Okay. I'm not there no more. I'm not dealing with that anymore. I understand that in that part of my life, I entertained that. In that part of my life, I thought that was cool. In that part of my life, man, I thought that's what I was supposed to do. In that part of my life, I thought I was supposed to go out there and sleep with all those women and and sleep with all those guys or whatever it is that you do. In that part of my life, I thought going out and getting lit and drunk and wasting money trying to impress people and gambling and all this other foolish, I thought that was cool. I'm no longer there. That's not who I am anymore. That's not what I'm about anymore. I'm not about going bankrupt trying to impress other people. I'm not about trying to buy all these bags and all this other stuff to show you that I'm successful. I'm no longer seeking people's validations. I'm no longer killing myself to prove anything to anyone. So we gotta understand something. The more you focus on your self-hatred, the more you feed it. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. In the beginning of the Bible, again, I'm not a Christian at all, but in the beginning of the Bible, it talked about how the devil was a serpent. In Genesis, it talks about how the devil was a serpent and how he deceived Eve. This tiny ass little snake deceived Eve. This tiny ass little snake fucked everything up. In the end of the book, in Revelations, it talks about this snake no longer being a snake. It's now a 10-headed dragon. It's a monster. That's self-hatred. Stay with me. And I'm using that as a metaphor. Genesis, this little snake. Revelation, this 10-headed dragon, this monster. Something was feeding it to go from Genesis to Revelations, from being this little snake to this powerful monster. That's what happens with self-hatred. That's the transition, that's the journey of the self-hatred within us. It starts out as something small. Your daddy rejecting you. Your mama saying you're fat. Your mama saying you're not cute. Them telling you you're stupid, or you're always fucking up this, and you're always messing up that, and why you so bad, and all this other crazy shit. You fall in love and people reject you, and all this other stuff that makes us hate ourselves. It's these little tiny things that turn around and add up. Every time you're rejected, every time you're abandoned, every time you get your heart broke or whatever the case may be, man, that feeds that little monster. And now it's this 10-headed dragon. See, the law of attraction says this: what you think about, you bring about. Say it again. What you think about, you bring about. The more you focus on this, the universe, God, source says, oh, you must like this. I'm going to give you more ways to think like this. I'm going to give you more ways to feel like this. We got to catch this. We got to understand this. You cannot eliminate self-hatred without understanding this concept. Somebody said something, somebody did something, and it made you feel a certain way. Whatever it was. Because you didn't know any better. You took on all of that negative energy. And the universe says, what you think about, you bring about. I'm going to give you more. You must like this. You must like feeling like this. I'm going to give you more ways to feel like this. And that's exactly what the universe, God, the Most High, has done. They've given you more ways to feel and to feed the self-hatred within you. You got to understand this. You got to catch this. What you think about, you bring about. You created this beast. You didn't do it intentionally. You weren't even aware of the fact that you were doing this. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Just because you didn't know don't mean that you ain't got to pay the price for it. Just because you weren't aware of what you were doing does not mean that you get to bypass that law. It don't matter how much you pray. It don't matter how much you speak in tongues. It don't matter how much you shout, how much you preach, how much you read tarot, how much you do da. None of that matters. None of that's going to stop the fact that, man, you created this monster. You did. You did. We sit back and blame everybody else. Man, nah, it was the TV and it was the... You created that monster. Because what you think about, you bring about. You was not aware of the fact that you were thinking on this stuff. You were not aware of the fact that this is the vibration you were dwelling on. You were not aware of the fact that you were manifesting more of this toxic bullshit to feed the monster within you. You weren't aware of that. I get that. I understand that. Just because you weren't aware of the fact that you were creating and feeding this monster within you does not negate the fact that you were feeding this monster that you created. And that's a hard pill to swallow. The fact that, man, I did this shit. You know what I mean? I did this shit to myself. I did this. How do I undo this now, God? Now that I'm aware of what the fuck I was doing, now that I'm aware that I was manifesting more things in my life to make me hate myself, now that I'm aware that I was attracting all this toxic shit to me, now that I'm aware that I was poisoning myself by manifesting more of this drama and this bullshit into my life to feed the monster within me. I manifested these toxic ass relationships. I manifested these people dogging me the fuck out. I manifested these people abandoning me and rejecting me and telling me that I ain't shit, I'm fat, I'm skinny, I'm this, that. I manifested this shit to feed my monster. Okay. It is what it is. I did that. Out of my ignorance, I did that. Now, how do I fix that? Because if I could create it, I can get rid of it. If I fed it, I can starve it. We gotta understand that. If you created it, you can eliminate it. If you fed it, you can starve it. How do I get rid of it? How do I starve it? I understand the ways in which I was poisoning myself. I understand the ways in which I was feeding that monster. And now that I'm aware of those things, I start doing the opposite. Instead of taking in all that shit that was poisoning me, instead of taking in all that shit that was feeding this monster, I cut that shit out. I stopped doing all that negative, toxic shit. The monster within you was created by you. The monster within you can be destroyed by you and only you. No one else can come in and kill that monster. No one else has the power to eliminate that monster. No one. You have to do it. You have to do it. You have to face and defeat the monsters that you created. I see so many of us, we don't even accept the fact that we created it. If you never accept the fact that you created it, if you never accept the fact that you fed this shit, you'll never conquer it. You'll never conquer the monsters that you created because you'll always play the victim. And you'll take it as that's other people's shit. That's other people's responsibility. They gotta change. Nah, motherfucker, it's you. It's always been you. So, excuse me. First thing, okay, God, man, Elijah, I'm sorry. Elijah, man, I'm sorry that you didn't know how to deal with that in a more productive way. All the things you've gone through, your abusive father, your father rejecting you and being violent and abusive, your father murdering your mama, you've been molested at an early age, you've been beat down by your family, you've having your heart broken and crushed by these women, and all this other shit were all ways in which the universe was showing me, Elijah, you hate yourself. Elijah, look at what you're doing to yourself. But I couldn't understand that because I was in that victim mentality. Now that I'm a little wiser, now that I'm a little more aware of what the fuck is going on, I now sit back and say, okay, man, I can't dwell on this stupid shit. I can't focus on this stupid shit. I can't focus on all this negative shit. Because again, what you think about, you bring about. What you dwell on, you manifest. So, what God had to show me, man, in order to eliminate this monster, you got to understand that the monster exists in the first place. Now you have to shift your focus. Now you have to be aware of what you do. Now you have to be more aware of your thoughts and your feelings. And so when these thoughts and feelings come, you have to stop them like, hold on, wait a minute. Is this feeding the monster or is this destroying the monster? Which one is it? Me having peace and joy in my life, me being happy, me getting this relationship, me doing this and doing that, is this feeding the monster? Me sitting here reading this book, is this feeding the monster or is this destroying it? Me taking a time out, like, man, fuck this shit down. I need a break from work. I need a break from this relationship. I need a break from this situation. I need to sit here and just spend some time out in nature. I need to sit here, spend some time at home where I'm around love and peace and joy, where I could recenter myself, I could reground myself, where I'm not tearing myself down, where I'm not telling myself I fucking suck and I'm a failure and da-da-da, where I'm just, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Understand, there's gonna be days and times where, man, the monster's gonna fight back. And it's gonna be hard as hell. And some days you're going to be on cloud nine. Man, you living your best life and whoop, doo, doo. Man, everything is going great. Other days, you're going to be in the fucking dungeon fighting for your fucking life. Fighting for your fucking peace. You'll conquer this part of the monster, and you're living your best life. Something else will happen in life. Another situation will pop up down the road. And that's going to feed that monster. And you're going to have to catch that. You're going to have to realize, hold on, wait, time out. I'm spiraling again. Hold up, time out. I'm going down that destructive path again. Hold up, time out. I'm feeding the fucking monster. I'm helping him get stronger again. No, we're not doing that shit. You know what I mean? We're not doing that shit. We spent 20, 30, 40 fucking years doing that shit. We're not doing that no more. No. We're not going to feed that monster anymore. We're going to starve that monster of everything it needs to maintain that grip on our life. We're going to starve that monster of all of the shit, the energy that it needs to survive. That monster has been surviving within you because of the energy you've been giving it. The energy, whether it's through toxic relationships, whether it's through toxic co-workers, a toxic boss, whether it's through you just getting drunk and getting lit in your issues that you haven't dealt with, you've been feeding it. And so now, you're going to sit back and say, nah, we're not doing that no more. I'm not feeding it. I'm going to make it starve. I'm going to make it lose its grip on my life. And I do that by being aware. I do that by being mindful of what I think about. I do that by being mindful of what I allow to come into me. By being aware of what I dwell on. See, you can't stop the thoughts from coming to your mind. Thoughts just pop up in our head all day, every fucking day. You can't stop that. But what you can do is take control of those fucking thoughts. And how do you take control of those thoughts? This thought popping in your head is something destructive, something negative, something toxic. You have the power to stop it right there in its motherfucking tracks. Nah, we're not doing this. But what most of us do, we sit there, that thought pop in your head, and you sit there and you start thinking about that thought. And you start dwelling about that thought. You really entertaining that thought. That thought takes over your feelings. And you're now feeding that monster. So as all of this negative stuff comes in, you have to sit there as a gatekeeper. You have to sit there as the protector of your soul. You have to sit there on alert. No, we're not doing that. I see it for what it is. The problem so many of us have is that we're not aware. We're not aware of the thoughts. We're not aware of the negative energy. And what happens when you get drunk, what happens when you get high and you popping these pills and all this other shit, you're no longer aware of what the fuck is going on. You can't respond as fast and necessary as you would being sober-minded. This is real shit right here. This is why the ancients, and this is why the great martial artists teach. Man, you got to be aware, always mindful of what's going on around you. Always paying attention to the energies around you. Understanding that the negative energy is trying to get in to feed the monster. You are at war with yourself. You're not at war with the monster. You got to catch that. You're not at war with the devil or the demons. You're at war with yourself. Are you alert? Are you mindful? Are you paying attention to your thoughts and your feelings? Or are you just so caught up into the bullshit, into the chaos, into the drama, that you can't see what's taking place? We got to grow up emotionally. We got to understand that, okay, man, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. The more alert I become, the more mindful I become of what the fuck is going on and what I'm doing to myself, the more I starve the monster. The more I take back my power. The more I walk in my purpose, the more I walk in my power. This is how we get rid of the monster within us. This is how we take back our life. It is what it is. It's a process. It's a journey. A self-discovery. The question is, are you going to walk in your true power? Are you going to walk in your true authority? Or are you going to continue to be a slave, a prisoner of the monster you created? I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.